him.
I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-macabre, it's time for the only news that matters. And in September of 2024, Queen's guitarist Brian May suffered a minor stroke. He was optimistic about his recovery. He regained use of his arm, but has suffered few updates since. Anita Dobson, the guitarist's wife, why isn't she called Anita Dobson May? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe she's like, fuck that. I like my name Dobson. I'm keeping it that way. You know? Because, you know, to me it looks like Brian May's wife is a badass and is set in her ways. Anyway, Anita Dobson, the guitarist's wife, revealed his status at the THRASH Christmas lunch earlier this week. Thankfully, the news was nothing but good. She said, "He's much better now. He's stabilized now, which is brilliant. I just hope we don't have any more reoccurrences. He's got the use of that arm, which was a bit of a challenge, but he's back now. So yeah, he's good to go now. He's playing the piano quite a lot in the house. You know, he likes a lot of that Beethoven stuff, you know. I love it. The piano in the house is really just very relaxing." Dobson, not May, but Dobson mentioned that May didn't actually try until after he recovered quite a bit. She said, and then he very slowly started to pick up an acoustic guitar and gradually just exercised the muscles. And it very quickly came back. He just retained the message from your brain, you know, to your arm. And that it's actually okay to do what it's used to do. You know, it was scary. And also being a genius for someone like that, his brain's overloaded. And that's what it is. He's too clever for his own good. Yeah, I see, you know, his brain's overloaded. He's got so much going on. And then, you know, he marries some chick that says, "I'm not going to take your name May," and he had a stroke. A minor one. Actually, I just made that up. Either way, man, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for her. I love Brian May. Such a unique guitar player. Brian May's one of those guys, when you hear that guitar, you know it's Brian May. He has his own style, his own, you know, way of playing. He can shred. And then he can be like very emotional. The whole deal, man. I love me some Brian May. And yeah, when I heard he had a stroke a few months ago, I was like, oh man, you know. But then I heard, oh, it's a minor stroke. Everything's good. I was like, okay, you know. But then, you know, I hear this. And yeah, it took him a little while. A little bit of a struggle to regain, you know, his use of playing, and now he's playing piano a lot. I love hearing stuff like that. And in the end, yeah, being mortal sucks, because we die, you know? It's great being mortal while being alive, but my God, you know, I mean, it was a minor stroke, but hey, man, it could have very well been a big stroke, and Brian May would have passed away. Because a lot of people die like that, by surprise, you know? Like, and I'm glad that Brian May survived, but man, we're losing everybody in the music business, man. The older I get, and you know, they're like 20, 30 years older than me, and I'm old. So yeah, a lot of my heroes when I was a little kid are leaving me, you know? I love, as I'm recording this, the 4 members of Black Sabbath are still alive. And for all of you Kiss Wednesday freaks, the 4 original Kiss members are still alive. But you know, how much longer though? You know, it just, I don't know, man. And have you noticed, have you seen Gene Simmons? I'm not going to make this into Gene Simmons, but real quick, I'll say this real quick. Have you seen Gene Simmons interviews lately? He's always like doing some cough up thing, some weird thing while he's talking, like cut, like weird noises. And that's, you know, getting older, man. Gene's old. And Gene's a big boy, you know. And, yeah, he's up there too. And of course, Brian May, John Deacon, Roger Taylor. We still all have them here. What if Freddie would have lived, huh? I have a feeling there would have been some awesome Queen albums. If Freddie would have just lived, I don't know, 10 years more, I say we could have got 3 great Queen albums. Or maybe 2 great Queen albums, hopefully, I think. Because, man, Innuendo, that was an amazing album, you know. I didn't like Queen since, albums since the 80s up to Innuendo had its good tracks, but I don't think any of them were as good as Innuendo. I think Innuendo can sit very well side by side with the early Queen discography that I love. Because I like it just as much as, you know, Day at the Races and shit. I like it even more than Day at the Races. You know, I just think it's an awesome album, and sad that we no longer have Freddie here, but hey, at least we have Brian, man, who hopefully will release some stuff soon, because I love his guitar playing. I love his solo stuff. I think it's really cool. And yeah, man, long live Brian May. And has anybody out there seen that video of Brian May getting upset with an interviewer and walks out? Man, him pissed off, Brian May being pissed off, he's still such a gentleman while being mad. You know, he's like, hey, look, you know, I really care about this thing I'm trying to, you know, promote, so I'm sorry. You know, I think the guy wanted Brian May to hear something or watch something. And Brian's like, nah, I'm here to promote, you know. I got to do all these interviews, and I just want to talk. I'm sorry. And he gets up, and he apologizes to the guy, even shakes his hand. I mean, this is a guy that obviously is pissed off, like, you're a fucking cunt. I hate you. You know, it's how, you know, us Americans would deal with that. But, you know, I know there's nasty British people, don't get me wrong. But I don't think Brian May's one of them, man. He seems like such a nice gentleman. And Brian May is an astrophysicist. He earned his PhD in astrophysics from Imperial College London in 2007. His doctoral thesis was on the subject of interplanetary dust in the solar system. In addition to his music career, Brian May has made significant contributions in the fields of astrophysics and is passionate about science and space exploration. That's pretty wild. That, you know, just like half an hour ago, it took me about like 15 minutes to put a windshield wiper on my car. You know, I'm washing my car, right? And the windshield wiper comes off. I'm like, what the hell? And it took me about 30 minutes to put it back on. And this guy, Brian May's actually worked with NASA and shit. You know, helped NASA out and all this crazy stuff. I mean, and I believe he was also knighted. You know, so it's Sir Brian May, astrophysics, guitar playing badass. I mean, he's got a huge brain, man. And like his wife says, he's constantly on the go. And that probably contributed to, you know, his stroke. You know, his brain is on overhaul, you know. And I know Brian May won't admit this because, you know, he's a very humble man. He doesn't like insulting people. But ever since he's become this scientist, he realized Sammy Hagar sucks. That's science. And he was like, oh my God. And now that he knows so much about science, he also realizes that Jimmy Fallon is a poser. Sebastian Bach is a twat. Sharon Osbourne is Satan. Nikki Sixx is a bullshit artist. The Kiss Avatars is stupid. That's science. And this is the only news that matters. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Ring that little notification bell. I totally would appreciate that. And leave your comments below what you feel about old Brian May, the astrophysicist. That guy, I bet, can put a fucking windshield wiper on in 10 seconds or less. Leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much again, and please like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty, listen to Black Sabbath, and smack 'em a cob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.